Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for checking out this video here on Show Style and Spirit. I am Ebony, of course, and as you can see from the title of this video, I will be giving my commentary on Carlos King's interview with blogger Funky Dineva that dropped today on Carlos King's YouTube channel. It definitely was filled with lots of tea, especially if you have been following the entire breakdown of the TGIF show over on Fox Soul. But of course, they also talked about Love and Marriage Huntsville, and they talked about what it's like being gay male bloggers in the entertainment industry and how they are perceived. So we're going to get into all of it. Now, before we do, I ask that you please hit the like button on this video. You knew what I was going to ask, right? As content creators, we ask you to do that because then YouTube will push this video out through its algorithm, recommending it to more people who enjoy discussing reality TV. And if you have not already done so, please subscribe to Show Style and Spirit. I would definitely love to have you as one of the showstoppers. Everything that I'm saying in this video is alleged and just my opinion. And the Copyright Act of 1976 says that my fair use commentary on these sound bites are allowed for criticism. And we're going to talk about quite a few things. So I want to first talk about their perception, how they believe people see them as gay male bloggers in the entertainment industry. So I'm going to go ahead and play this soundbite, and then I will come back with my commentary.
I've always said this to you, and I say this to people, you are very smart. And people sometimes miss it because of your colorful commentary.
And the persona, and it's so easy to say, and you get the same comments too with messy sissies.
Oh, yeah, no.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just, you see a gay man, you see an ounce of femininity, you see an ounce of flamboyance, and it's just, you're a messy sissy.
Oh, no,
and it's one of the biggest misconceptions about both of us, you know what I'm saying? Because in my day-to-day life, I'm actually so far from it, but go ahead.
No. Listen, I relate to you in that sense, too, because I create shows that have a lot of mess in it, for lack of a better word. I'm considered messy more so than my white gay counterparts. We get it because we're black, feminine, gay, whimsical. And I want to ask you that too, because do you feel like when it comes to you, the biggest misconception, and there's a lot about you, but one of the biggest misconceptions about you is that you are this messy black queen.
Yeah. And it honestly and truthfully is the furthest thing from the truth. And listen, it's not even something that I try to fight anymore, because I definitely understand it. First of all, I'm a gossip blogger. I'm a YouTuber. I'm gay. And with the very limited images of black gay men in television and in media, it's the perfect recipe for people to adopt that mindset or that thought about me. But honestly and truthfully, in my real life, like, I'm a very simple creature. I like to eat good. I like to
Okay. So I want to talk about them saying, they feel like because of their orientation that they get labeled as super messy, extra messy than the average blogger. What I will say is that some people may sometimes focus on, a male blogger's orientation when they happen to be gay. If they disagree with their commentary, they may automatically feel like their commentary is what it is because of their orientation. What I try to stay grounded in, especially when the commentary is centered around a toxic romantic relationship, I'd like to focus on straight men, actually. I'd rather talk about dating, how it is so effed up in the Black community, in the urban community, how not a lot of straight Black men, they're not really gentle with Black women. They're not very emotionally available. It's hard for them to meet emotional needs. They expect us to just always exude masculine energy. I feel like those are the men to really focus on and to call out and to try and share with them some tools that they need to possess to really strengthen the community and strengthen romantic relationships. When Funky Dineva is super duper rude, like how he talked about Chloe Bailey's looks and the disgusting things that he said about Kiki Jabbar, which I'm going to circle back around to later on in this video, I actually, especially with Kiki, I don't think it was centered so much so in his orientation and who he likes to date. I think it's just centered in him being mean-spirited towards her and having never liked Kiki. And that really fueled his commentary on her passing. And every time he had commentary on an episode of Love and Marriage Huntsville that Kiki was in. You know, but they obviously, it's their lives, it's the commentary that they hear about people. If they think that it's rooted in their orientation, you know, who am I to say that their feelings are invalid? But I just feel like I think a lot of times you can really point out it's just, you know, meanness or something was done very inappropriately. And some people, they do focus in on their orientation and think that that's why. But I know for me, I don't feel that way. If there's any sort of orientation of a man that I would want to focus on, again, it would be the straight men in our community, because they are the ones that's like sticking and creating all these babies that they're not helping to take care of. They see marriage as such a huge burden. And so, yeah, that's who I would focus in on if we're going to look at orientation. And, you know, Carlos King said also that they get a bad rap because they are Black gay men, you know, so I'm not a gay Black man. So I can't invalidate their situation, but I definitely wanted to share that. Now, very interesting, they talked about being bloggers. Funky Dineva is a longtime popular blogger who is also friends with reality TV stars. And he talked about not spilling tea.
I don't discuss other YouTubers and people just don't understand why. And I'm like, because I don't like the drama and the mess that comes along with it. I don't like when my name is in the blogs and it's like Funky Dineva and Carlos King. I don't like that. You know what I'm saying? So that whole messy thing, it's just not true. But it's also something that I've just been used to for a very long time. I'm brazen, I'm cavalier, I don't mind saying what needs to be said in any circumstance. I'm at the forefront of a lot of things. I can articulate myself very well, and I talk a lot. You know what I'm saying? I talk a lot. So I can understand how people have that perception, but it's simply not true.
No, the thing is this. You know things about me that no one knows.
Yes.
You have known things about me back in the day. And I want to say this, I never said this publicly. Listen, there was a time when I used to like hang out a line party and all this other stuff. And I remember one day you called me. I would never forget this. You called me and said, girl, you need to chill out. Because people are talking about you. And you need to sit down. I will never forget that. And at the time, you have a popular blog, and you could have easily reported it and said, girl, call him at the club and he was hanging out. You're not messy. And vice versa. There's things we know about. So that's why I get upset that we can be funny, entertaining. We talk about the same shit y'all talk about. Just because we do it with a little flair.
Right.
Yeah, we're considered messy. We talk about the same exact shit. Is Joe Rogan messy?
Right.
Is Howard Stern messy?
Right.
Is Harvey from TMZ messy?
And the sad part about it is they have no loyalty. You know what I'm saying? They have no loyalty. I'm going to tell you one of the greatest pieces of advice that I had ever gotten very early on in my career. Shouts out to John Murray, Sherry Sherman's the producer. very early on in my career, I was talking on the phone, John Murray, and I knew John from AOL Black Voices. Like, that's how I first came across his name. But one day we were on the phone, and John Murray said to me, the true mark of a blogger is not what you tell, it's what you don't. And that just always stuck with me. And a lot of people, you know, and much like you, we have a lot of celebrity relationships. And how do you think I'm able to maintain these relationships with the Quads and the Heavenlies and all these different people? I know them girls T inside and out, you know what I'm saying? But I don't tell it, you know what I'm saying? And for what? They're my friends. And when you foster those types of relationships with people, they respect the fact that they say, well, you know what, bitch? You know about that DUI I got last night, and you ain't tell nobody, so I'm gonna give you something. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna give you. I'm gonna tell you about this bitch. Since you didn't do that, and thank you so much for you to do that, I'm gonna tell you about this. I'm gonna give you something. You know what I'm saying? Ain't that how the girls do it? Yes. That's how they do it. You know what I'm saying? That's how they. You and I know so much shit about the girls. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. We would never. And that's why I get angry. Messy is spilling the tea of the shit that you know. That's messy. Let me tell you something, and you more so than I, baby. I could unravel so many reality TV shows right now, baby. I could simply unravel them. I can pull one string and unravel whole productions with the things that I know. But what good is that? Like, what fun is that? For what? I get nothing out of it. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people don't understand. That's another reason why I let my written blog go. I let FunkyDineva.com go.
Okay, so he said a lot in that soundbite. That is what I call a loaded soundbite. So in the beginning of it, Funky Dineva was saying how he doesn't really like to comment on other content creators because he does not want to get caught up in any sort of beef. And I totally agree with that. I feel like when you become angry at another content creator, first of all, that's your peer. You know, we're all in the trenches together. Expressing our voices, getting our opinions out there in a professional and appropriate way. And I feel like I definitely want us all to win. One thing that I appreciate about this space is that it's room for everyone. And you all, the subscribers whom we share, you can enjoy as many videos and channels as you like. That's why I say in some of my videos, while you're checking out your favorite YouTubers, get your water in, you know, drink a few bottled waters, get that 60 ounces in a day, you know, grab some fruit, grab your oranges, your vitamin C, whatever your favorite fruit is, and get that in you while you're watching your favorite YouTubers. So then you'll be getting entertained and getting some healthy eating and getting your water out at the same time, you know. I just don't want to be negative, you know what I'm saying? And I'd rather just focus on reality TV stars and celebrities and report the celebrity gossip and the celebrity news and go from there, you know. And so I totally see him with that, absolutely 100%. And when he was talking about, you know, there are some TV shows that he could unravel and just totally unravel production, I believe that. I'm sure he has tea that he does not spill. And I think that that speaks to a blogger's professionalism and self-control. And I get it, right? You want to be the person with the exclusive tea. You want to give that shocking information out and be the first one to do it. And then you have to know those boundaries. You have to know what's inappropriate to share, you know, and then you just have to have faith that the content that you do make, the videos that you do make, you know, someone will watch them and enjoy them. Definitely, I enjoy a variety of YouTubers, and I feel like they vary in personality, and I can only be myself. You know, I'm not this comedian who's super duper hilarious, like True T and When Tay Talks. You know, I feel like I have life experience and the ability to be an empath and encourage others, but it doesn't hit nearly as incredible as Queen Sheba. You know, I feel like so many different content creators whom I enjoy, they are all special in their own way. And I can't be like them. I can only be Ebony. I can only be myself. And that's okay. And what I think is amazing is that some of the same content creators that love Queen Sheba, True T, and When Tay Talks, I see some of you guys, you know, leaving comments on my videos as well. So that's what's amazing, that all of us, we can bring a lot of the same stories and we can deliver them totally different. We can have different perspectives, different things that, you know, the other person didn't think about. And I think that that is really good, really great. So I really appreciated and respected him saying that there's some tea that he does not spill. I don't want to see any production fall by the wayside. And if I owned a production company, I would not want, you know, every little secret and tidbit leaking out before it airs. So I totally get that. And yeah, it definitely falls back on faith that whatever content you are making, it'll reach someone, you know, and have some sort of impact. But let's move right along. So then he talked about being disappointed in Armand Wiggins. Now, if you all were watching TGIF, I definitely checked it out sometimes. I really like Cocktails with Queens if I had to choose between the two. But Armand Wiggins replaced Funky Dineva earlier this year, and he was disappointed in Armand. And I found his wording to be so interesting because it reminded me of his very dark, disturbing commentary on the passing of Mrs. Kiki Jabbar.
When you saw Armand's roast to Al, what was your first thought?
A battery was put in his back. A battery was put in his back. These are my thoughts. Can't prove it. Don't know for a fact. I thought a battery was put in his back. I thought it was deeply personal. I thought it was extremely unprofessional. I thought it was completely I thought it was gross. I thought it was gross. And the reason why I thought it was gross is because obviously having had worked there, a lot of the things that he was saying, he had not even been there long enough to experience or even know what the fuck he was talking about. Okay? And it's just the things that were coming out of his mouth had trappings of somebody gave him this information. He simply had not been there long enough. And going back to our earlier conversation when I was talking about the maturity piece, that's the thing right there. Like I laid out for Armand everything he needed to do to be successful at that show, and in my opinion, he went there and did the complete opposite. And I'm very disappointed in him for it. I am, because I rooted for you. I rooted for you when there were actually people working against you being there. And I informed him that there are people who don't want you there. There are people who are going out of their way to not have you here. Told him who the people were and everything. And then I told him everything he needed to do to be successful there. And you went up there and drank the Kool-Aid and got lost in the sauce and did the complete opposite. And if I'm being honest, was a major contributing factor as far as I can see as to why the shit got canceled.
You think it's his fault?
I don't think it's his fault. Okay. I don't think it's his fault. I think that he was a major contributing factor.
Okay, so he actually used words like gross, and he was disappointed in him. Funky, those are my sentiments regarding your commentary on the passing of Mrs. Kiki Jabbar. That was totally uncalled for. And it really would have been best for you not to have commented on her passing altogether. But I remember telling you all in a video that I noticed he had left a comment on the Jasmine brand story on Kiki Jabbar's passing. And he said, you know, he was talking about the uncle's video. And then I said, oh my gosh, I guess not enough people noticed it. And so he made a video. He talked about it on his YouTube channel. But I'm like, that is so interesting. I get it that you're close friends with Al Reynolds, so you did not like Armand's roast of Al Reynolds. But that is quite hypocritical with the awful things that you said about Kiki Jabbar after she passed away from this earthly life. You know, pot, meet, kettle. So I definitely wanted to bring that to you all's attention. So now let's go ahead and get into the conversation about love and marriage Huntsville. So this was actually towards the end of the interview, within the last 10 minutes. So definitely, you all know that I always say Carlos King, he's definitely big on pre-production. And I believe that he told him, you know, at the end of this interview, I am going to bring up Love and Marriage Huntsville. Carlos is going to make a very interesting analogy on the low, comparing the ratings of Love and Marriage Huntsville to the ratings of the Real Housewives of Atlanta and the show's missing out on commentary. So I'm just going to go ahead and play the soundbite and then come back with my commentary.
Everything happens for a reason. You are killing it. Welcome back, bitch. We missed you. Your politics segments and shows you've been doing with Amanda Seals have been super informative. It shows the diversity of your talent. That you also took a break from reality television. You just felt like it's the same old, same old. I want to say this to you too. You are hugely responsible for the success of the Love and Marriage Huntsville show.
I love that show.
You are
Thank you.
hugely responsible. I have never once asked you to watch any of my shows.
Oh, you know what? You know the rumor is I'm on your payroll. They love saying that. Or Carlos King brought him in for damage control. I'm like, damage control? I'm on your payroll and I'm on the Scott's payroll. Carlos has never called and asked me to do nothing for no show. At least Mona gave me $500. Carlos ain't never bought me a goddamn crystal snap. Okay?
I owe you a lot. I'll make it up to you, baby. No, he's my friend in real life. He watched season 1 Bell Collective and said, I hate this show, man. This show is awful. I said, wait till season 2 come out there. So he doesn't watch things because we're friends, and he doesn't say nice things because we're friends. You are hugely responsible for that. Is the reason why I love you. In terms of what you're doing for my genre of reality television. We are nothing without you. I remember talking to an Atlanta housewife who shall remain nameless. At one point, Wendy Williams stopped talking about Atlanta housewives, and she said to me, the ratings suffered because Wendy Williams doesn't talk about it anymore. And I saw that as she's right. It's a privilege to have you guys, you and Richie Sky, and make it make sense. And like you said, Bondi Blue, whether you like me or not, talk about the show, Kim Hire. There's so many people who I appreciate. And again, they don't always say great things about me or the show. I don't take anything personally, but I will never discredit a content creator's purpose for my shows, and you are at the hem of that. So what's next for the doll?
Okay, so did you all see that analogy? So first of all, this is the first inkling of Carlos King acknowledging the dip in the ratings of Love and Marriage Huntsville, especially when you go to Carlos King's Instagram page. There is a pinned post where he posted saying that the ratings are the highest that they've ever been. And I did a video on it because I read the post. He took an excerpt from an article where it said that the ratings were high in this demographic. The part that he posted, it did not specify what that demographic was. We don't know if it's amongst Black people, Black women, a certain age group, a certain gender. It just said this demographic. So whatever was the previous paragraph that would have specified the demographic, he left that out. Totally capping about the ratings, because he watches obviously some of the content creators in the LAMH sector where they've been reporting about the dip in ratings. But in this interview with Funky Dineva, he brought up an Atlanta housewife saying that their ratings dipped when Wendy Williams stopped discussing the show. Now, if you all have been a long-term watcher of Funky Dineva, I remember when he said he was taking a break from reality TV. It was before he joined TGIF. So it's been a couple of years. And because when he called Melody the B word after watching the season 5 reunion, he wasn't even recapping LAMH back then. So you can't tell me that because he and Carlos are friends that he doesn't have this guided opinion. But anyway, so he stopped reviewing reality TV show. He said he had to take a break from it. And then Carlos King says, Funky, you're a large reason why Love and Marriage Huntsville is so successful. And then he told the story about Wendy Williams not reporting on the Atlanta Housewives and their ratings dipped, almost trying to say that that's why LAMH has had a slip in ratings because Funky Dineva no longer reviews it. So I don't know if this is going to be the beginning of Funky Dineva jumping back into reviewing the show, or Carlos on the sly acknowledged that there is a dip in the ratings for LAMH. So I thought that was very, very interesting, and I definitely wanted to talk about it. But I hope that you all had a terrific Tuesday. Work was good. It went by fast. And, you know, it was kind of weird. Like, you know, when you have stuff to do, particularly housework, it kind of puts you almost feel like a rut you're in until you get it started. So as soon as I logged out of work, I like started a load of laundry. Then I started watching this interview. And I've put on my sweats. After I upload this video to YouTube, I'm going to go to the gym. And yeah, I just had to get some things done. I cleaned the bathroom just to feel productive. I did that like during the day in the middle of working just to feel really productive. And I've gotten my water in and I've had fruit and stuff. So now I'm going to go and get some exercise and feel really good. Now, also, I just want to close. I want to tag out with this. Funky did talk about coming out to his parents when he was younger. His dad was supportive. His mom, it took some time. Funky Dineva described the beginning of his YouTube career. After getting fired from his accounting job, he lived off of unemployment while he built his YouTube channel, reviewing Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. And when you all saw him during the season 1 reunion, that was after one of the producers of Love and Hip Hop Atlanta found his YouTube videos and they asked him to join the reunion. And as far as TGIF goes on Fox Soul, he thinks that it's sad that the co-hosts could not get along and lost out on $250,000 a year in terms of income. And he felt like Armand was fed info for Al Reynolds' roast because he simply was not there long enough. I know that you heard him say that in that soundbite. I definitely have to agree. It's almost pathetic that adults, 2 of them over the age of 50, Al Reynolds and Claudia Jordan, those were the 2 that really could not get along the most. And literally the show fell apart over what I would call office gossip and, you know, just not being able to just ignore BS. Ignore when people talk about you and just go on about your business and do what you have to do. So they've lost on that significant income. But what did you all think about this interview between Funky Dineva and Carlos King? And again, I hope that you all had a terrific Tuesday. And if you were feeling like me and feeling that rut feeling like you were in a rut, just go ahead and do something that you know you have to do or get it started. you will feel so much better. And I know that you all are going to have a wonderful Wednesday, and I will talk with you very soon. Bye.